up on this week's episode of Riptide.
Ms. Gilman hosted her annual college fair.
Mr. Merrill and Ms. Somerville are making an art mural for each academy. Hey South Dade, I'm Joreli Soporta.
I'm Rogelio Rodriguez, and you're watching the 76th episode of Riptide.
Last Monday, Ms. Gilman hosted her annual college fair.
We had over 50 universities and colleges come to South Dade, and Hunter got an inside look.
At South Dade, colleges have come from all around to display attractive attributes to interested students. This event gave students the chance to gain information on interesting colleges.
The College and Career Fair is an annual event that I hold here each year for South Dade Senior High School. I invite numerous colleges, universities, other post-secondary opportunities like vocational technical schools, as well as the military and ROTC programs through the military, so that all the South Dade students can know all the opportunities and options that are available to them after high school.
I think it's important for all students to come and visit the college fair, especially seniors, to come and gather all this information about colleges and universities. You know, what are the requirements, what are the GPA, you know, to get into the college. I think it's a great opportunity for all the seniors also to get together.
I think it's really important for college representatives to come to the high school rather than bringing students to the campus. What that means is it can bring students, you know, a lot more experience as far as talking to students. Some students may not have the mobility to go to different colleges and universities, even within the state of Florida. So having all of these representatives here on one night can explore students, can introduce students to a world of opportunity.
At the college fair, kids were given the chance to look into schools of choice without having to look very far. Reporting for Riptide, I'm Hunter Padilla.
Mrs. Somerville and Mrs. Romero are making new art murals for each Magnet Academy.
Bernadette was able to talk to them about the new addition to the school.
Art teachers Ms. Romero and Ms. Somerville are working together to add a splash of color throughout the school. With murals that spotlight each academy, you will be given a taste of what each class is about.
Mr. Perez really wanted to basically create more artwork around the school. So he, asked for myself and Ms. Interior Somerville to paint around the school. So basically representing where medical is, where professional services is, BPA outside. So we're basically going to do that throughout the whole year. It will take me probably until the summer because it's a lot of work.
Students expressed their views on the murals and how they think they will impact the school.
It's important to the school because it gives it character, and also it's important for the visitors to see what goes on in the inside.
I think it's important for each academy to have its own mural because it emphasizes what goes on in each class and why it's different.
I think it's important for us to have art around the school because the artists here are extremely talented, and it makes people happier. Like, it's a good conversation starter. I'll be walking in the hallways and then I'll be like, oh, like this piece is really cool. And it just shows like what brilliance is at South Dade.
As we walk from class to class, we hope to see progress in these works of art throughout the year, adding more than just the traditional colors to the school. Reporting for Riptide, I'm Bernadette Cruz.
Mr. Miller's class is hosting the mock election to inform students who are planning to vote.
It's a great way to show them what it's like to elect a presidential candidate.
With the presidential election coming up in November and the primary elections coming up March 15th, the South Dade Social Studies National Honor Society decided to have their own mock election to see what South Dade would vote.
The mock primary election is going to be a chance for all students of South Dade to vote for one of the candidates that's running for president. We're going to be doing it next week, and it'll be through the social studies classes. So all students out there should be starting to think about which candidate they would want to select in our mock election next week, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders or Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio or another candidate that's a favorite. The presidential election is coming up very soon, later in the year, and a lot of the countries in the world don't have no say in who their leader is. So it's a right that we really need to cherish here as Americans.
To social studies classes, and they're going to vote, and that's going to be over the course of 2 days, and then after that we'll count on the ballots and see who wins our South Dade High School primaries.
What students have been saying in classes, and they seem to know the most about Donald Trump and have very strong feelings about him. So it'll be interesting to see if those strong feelings translate into his winning or his, losing in a resounding way.
I hope for the students at South Dade to take away that the primaries are more than just some little voting thing, and that their vote actually counts. And also I want them to understand how their votes and how their participation in the primaries can affect their world in the future.
We will have an update as soon as the votes are in, but be sure to participate in the mock election. Reporting for Riptide, I'm Priscilla Perales.
Many of you may not know that some of our very own American heroes are in our everyday classrooms.
Here's Natalie with an inside look how these heroes change your everyday lives.
From risking their lives to giving us a better future to now educating us to have a brighter one, these teachers have fought in the U.S. military before doing what they love to do today.
I was a member of the United States Army. I was 82nd Airborne, All-American, all the way. Did that for a little while. Jumping out of planes got old quick, so then I changed MOSs, became a 91 Delta, which is an operating room technician, and that's where I became interested in the medical field. Operating room technicians hands the surgeon the instruments in the operating room during surgery. I was in the military for 8 years. In 8 years, I did 2 active, and the rest I did in the reserves.
I was a medical laboratory technician. The first few years, I was just a technician. And later, I got promoted, became NCOIC of the laboratory. Then I became manager of the laboratory. Then became NCOIC of ancillary services, which put me in charge of the laboratory, X-ray, pharmacy, and diet therapy. 6 years active duty, 24 years reserve.
I was in the Marine Corps, I was in the infantry. I had decided prior to 18, I was about 16, 17 at the time, and I had already decided I was going to go into the Marine Corps. It was a kind of a family thing. Most of the men in my family had either been in the Marine Corps or in the Navy, so I followed suit. It was just a matter of honor, the way we looked at it.
Somebody has a seizure in front of you, what's the first thing you do?
Although they enjoyed serving their country, these men found love for teaching others.
What do we do?
One of the main reasons was because I wanted to be a role model. I wanted to come back to my hometown, which I was born here in Hialeah. I know how important it is for a lot of kids that's in my neighborhood. They need role models. They need someone to come back in and basically just, guide them down the right path. And I thought GROTC would be probably the best job for me to do that.
I became a teacher after my services. When I got done with my Marine Corps service, I went into the medical field for about 17 years. After about 17 years, it was time for a career change, and I just took what I'd learned leadership-wise from the military and what I learned in the medical field and decided I wanted to teach it.
Teachers have a more laid-back schedule, to tell you the truth. And summer's off, 2 weeks during Christmas, a week in spring break. So now I have more time with my family and my kids.
So we thank these teachers for all their services and appreciate them for teaching us for all these years now. Reporting for Riptide, I'm Natalie Granadillo.
If you're this distracted with your phone now, imagine behind the wheel of a car. Don't text and drive.
Let's go to Nat with the sports highlights of the week.
What's up, Bucks? I'm Natalie, and I'm here to give you your South Dade sports update. To start off, your wrestlers leave to states this weekend. Here's the inside look.
I always put in work. I push myself to the limit every day in practice. Run the laps, come inside here and drill and just push myself. All my other teammates push me too.
Thursday morning, we sent our wrestlers to their state competition. Confidence ran high in the team, as the boys expect to bring home their 11th title.
I'm not looking past anybody. I'm just going to go out there and just wrestle how I wrestle. And I'm pretty sure I'll be all right.
Wishing the boys best of luck in bringing home another state title to add to the collection. In other sports, your boys varsity baseball team defeated Miami High with the final score 8-1, following last week Tuesday against Southridge, unfortunately losing with a score of 2-0. making their first away game against Coral Reef, making a comeback, a final score 1-0. Lastly, they played on Tuesday night against Palmetto with the epic victory 10-0, with Danny Vaughn making the first home run of the season. Your girls varsity softball team dominated against Coral Gables 17-2. They took on Southridge with another victory 11-0. They took on Coral Reef Thursday with the final score 9-5. Lastly, Tuesday, they played against Palmetto with an unfortunate loss with the final score 13-5. That's all for your sports update, Bucks. I'm Natalie. See you on the next episode of Riptide.
One of the most exciting events of the year for the seniors is the senior picnic.
Kat and Andres have a recap.
The Oscars is one of the most anticipated events of the year.
Here's Natasha with the recap.
Whether you watched on TV or on the live Snapchat feed, the 88th annual Oscars was a night people were sure to remember. Since the early 90s, Leonardo DiCaprio has captured our hearts and has grown as an actor and film producer over the years. After being nominated 5 times, Leo was finally awarded for his leading role in the movie The Revenant. The film was also able to award Alejandro G. Inarritu for Best Director and a 3rd consecutive Oscar to Emmanuel Lubezki for cinematography. Another film that came out a winner was Mad Max Road to Fury, winning a total of 6 Oscars including costume design, film editing, makeup and hairstyling, production design, sound editing, and sound mixing. Best Picture was a shocker when the film Spotlight won an Oscar, when competing against films like The Revenant and The Martian. The Unpredictable Night also included the winner for Best Actress, Brie Larson, because of her performance in Room. Another shocker in the Oscars was the winners for Best Supporting Actor and Actress. While having legendary nominees like Sylvester Stallone and Kate Winslet, the winners for Best Supporting were Mark Rylance and Alicia Vikander, having it also been their first Academy Award. And after all the controversy leading up to the event regarding the lack of minority nominees in the acting categories, which spawned the Twitter hashtag #OscarsSoWhite, Chris Rock made several snarky jokes and the night featured several segments about the controversy. Got something you would like us to review? Tweet us at SDBuckTV and maybe you'll get a review for the show. Reporting for Riptide, I'm Natasha Casal.
That's it for this week's episode of Riptide.
If you want to watch any previous episodes of Riptide, check out bucktv.org.
While you're at it, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SDBuckTV.
That's it for today, Bucks. I'm Jorelis.
I'm Rogelio.
Have a great weekend. Good job.
I thought you were going for
Oh no, I was fixing my hair, but that's
You're like...
That's... Correct! The Oscars is one of the... Sam, is it Army recruiters or Army recruitettes?
What?
Well, that's it for... Wait! She's like... Start messing up.
Okay. That's it for this week's episode of Riptide.
If you...
Okay, I'm sorry.
Why do you look taller than me now?
Because I am taller than you.
I just want to show you you are.